It says we're back, so we'll see. If you guys can hear us or if you see us, comment. Say where you're from. The phone went dead, so that's why we were gone for a second. I forgot to plug it in. It says 2 people are watching. 3 people. If you guys can hear us, make sure to comment so that we know that it's working. Whitney, can you plug this in quick? Okay. It says 2 people are watching. So for anyone that does follow up and watch this video later, while we're waiting for people to sign in, make sure to go and like Blue Line Landworks LLC on Facebook. I can share photos easier on Facebook, and I plan on posting some of the same videos on Facebook that I've posted on YouTube. But Facebook allows you to do a premiere where you can actually watch the video live for the first time that it's posted and comment. We can comment back and forth while it's playing live for the first time, so that you guys can ask questions while it's actually going through, so I can actually see what part you're asking a question about and try and answer some of those questions. So if you have questions now for Grandpa while we're with him, make sure and ask those too. This guy has far more experience logging than most people I know. So what year did you retire then? Officially retired. When you sold your half of the company to Gene.
I think 10 years ago.
So 2008. And you still worked with Gene for how long after you had agreed to sell your half to him?
Oh, about 4 years.
4 years. So I can only remember going into the woods with you a couple times, but that was like right towards the very end of your career when you're getting ready to retire. But we all know the rest of the story, that you didn't really retire, because how many years were you retired? Well, you kept your 550G, your John Deere Cat,
Yeah.
And then you had another truck mounted loader. Was it also
410 Prentice?
And what
that I'd done private jobs with.
Did you buy that after you retired, or was that something you and Gene had bought together?
No, that was something I bought myself, but I bought it before I retired.
So you were
From
doing
Gene.
You were doing private jobs on the side then? Yeah. Okay. And then
I was doing jobs to raise money for a swimming pool project we have in Woodland.
Okay.
That's
what you were doing.
That's what I bought it for.
And so you were doing side jobs to raise the money for the swimming pool?
Mm-hmm.
And then you sold that, and then you bought a link belt how many years ago?
5
years ago?
Mm-hmm.
So he said he was going to retire, but he never actually retired, because he immediately got more equipment as soon as he had retired. So if you have any questions, make sure and ask him. We'll be here for a couple more minutes, or as long as you guys have any questions for him and want to talk. But like I said, if you didn't hear me earlier, make sure and go like Blue Line Landworks LLC on Facebook so that you can get other updates from jobs that we're working on while we're actually working on them. And then also so that we can show our videos on another platform also, so you guys can see them.
This was cottonwood logs. We were logging back on Mr. Short's here.
This is this you and your
truck.
This was you and your dad then?
No, this is me and Bill Sherman. That's when we started. We rigged up a set of drums on that flatbed 39 Chev truck.
Okay, so you were using just like an A-frame then?
Yeah.
Is that the A-frame that's still laying up there by the machine shed, or a different one?
This is a wooden one.
Okay. And how long were those logs then?
The A-frame?
How long were the logs that you were using?
They're 16s, 20s.
Okay. So Grandpa was showing me another picture out of the Loggers World article that shows when he and Bill were first working together. Here on the farm, they were yarding logs from the property behind the farm. And I don't know if you guys can really see that. Hopefully you can. But they were logging cottonwood and loading them onto a short truck using an A-frame.
They were going for pulpwood.
And what was the price of pulpwood then?
I think we were getting $8 a ton.
$8 a ton then. And I think cottonwood pulp now is $26 a ton. And then
it's less money now than it was then.
Yeah, in proportion, it's a lot less money now than it was then. Because what year was that? Probably, what was that, late 40s or early 50s?
No, that was in the 60s.
Was it in the 60s?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then
no, that's not the right price. Because we were paying the guy $6 a ton for hauling it. I remember that. No, it must have been higher. It must have been around $12 a ton.
Apparently pulp was valued a lot more than it is now.
Yeah.
There must just be too much pulp available. Because right now we're getting, for like hemlock and white fir, we're getting $41 a ton. Alder, we were getting 36.5, and I think cottonwood's only 26.
Yeah.
It barely even pays for the hauling to send cottonwood to the mill.
Yeah.
Just pays to get rid of it. That's about it.
Mm-hmm.
Barry wants to know how you're enjoying your semi-retirement.
Just great. Yeah. Keeps me busy on this 85-acre farm here we got, though, with the weeds and the blackberries liking to grow, and the tree farms. We got 35 acres in timber, and we have the rest in pasture and fields for hay for the cattle. But out of that 35 acres of timberland, we got 5 creeks run through the place. So we got about
an acre left.
25, well, almost 30 acres of that is all in buffer areas. So because you own more than 80 acres, you don't qualify for any of the small landowner exemptions. No.
So how big are your buffers on a fish stream?
150.
150, and then there's a soft buffer out to like 200 feet, right?
Yeah.
Where you can only cut a portion of the trees.
Well, you can cut a portion there. You can't cut
between 150 and 200.
Yeah.
But if you only own 5 acres, then you would only have a buffer that was 29 feet next to a fish stream.
Yeah.
And if it wasn't a fish stream at all, then your buffer would be 0. You just can't drive in the creek. And you can't drive your equipment within 30 feet of the creek. But you can log all the timber out of there. So essentially, you get kind of screwed over because you own more than 80 acres.
Yeah, I suppose.
But you logged most of the stuff that was in those buffer zones before the buffer zones existed, right? And then you just replanted it?
Yeah, but there was never any value down there. It was only a little bit of old rotten overripe alder.
So you logged the junk out.
Maple.
You logged the junk out to replant it in nice
good
fir.
timber in there, fir and cedar, lots of cedar, and now I can't harvest that.
Jessica wants to know what projects you're working on currently.
Not your sister, Jessica.
Yeah, it's my sister, Jessica.
It is.
Yep.
Well, I'm working. Today I worked on the bedroom. I get new carpet down and repaint the house, some of the house. And I'm working on the bathroom, Jessica. So you ladies will have a nice flush bathroom.
At the park. He's talking about the bathroom at the park. So if you go and watch, one of the videos that I posted was, I can't remember the title of it, but it was a family camp at the 4th of July. If you go back and look at that video, it shows the Zumstein Family Park, which is here on my grandpa's farm. And that'll give you an idea of what he's talking about. So for all the years that we've been up there, we've had to use outhouses. So now he's making a women's only bathroom that will have a flush toilet in it. So that's what he's referring to when he's talking about building a bathroom. He has flush bathrooms in his house. Don't worry. Videos by Al says that cottonwood is used for pallets in the Midwest.
Yeah.
So
That's a good use for it. Yeah.
But here they just grind it up.
Yeah.
Barry Hansen says you make him ashamed of himself. He only has a quarter of an acre.
Oh.
Hey, a quarter of an acre is a lot to maintain if you don't have the equipment that Grandpa has. Does anyone else have any questions while we're still here? It says there's 11 people watching. So you're pretty much done logging here on the farm, right?
Yep.
Yep.
We got some timber we've saved to cut out for the grandkids so they can get lumber to build their.
Oh, you just bought 2 sawmills.
Yeah.
Right.
We got 2 sawmills now, so we're gonna.
So what sawmills did you
gotta
get?
save some timber to log for that.
So first you got a Wood Miser band sawmill, right?
Yep.
So we'll have to do some videos on that. And then what other?
We got a Mighty Mite sawmill, which is a circular sawmill, and it it works kind of different than bandsaw, but you don't want to use it unless you're cutting thicker boards, because when you cut 1-inch boards, you lose too much for sawdust.
So the kerf on the circular saw is a 1/4 inch then?
Oh, it's 3/8 of an inch almost.
Okay, so 3/8 that you're losing compared to what, 1/8 for the band sawmill?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I don't think you even lose 1/8.
Not even quite 1/8.
Yeah.
So B&B Landscaping Services says, awesome interview, fun to watch. So we might make Live with Grandpa a monthly live feed or something so that you guys can ask all the questions you want. He has a museum of a logging museum of old-fashioned logging equipment, and he even built a model fore and aft road. That's what it's called, right?
Yeah.
A model fore and aft road with a model steam donkey, so that he can demonstrate how logging used to be done with steam donkeys. B&B Landscaping Services says, I'm a Byman from Longview. I would assume your grandpa knows some, as there is a bunch of us around. Byman, do you recognize that name?
I've heard it, but I don't know.
He's from Longview.
Okay.
So.
No. Chandler Logging and those, and the Goulds.
So, like I said, if you guys haven't already liked Blue Line Landworks LLC on Facebook, make sure and follow us there. And then if you have any other questions, feel free to post them in the comments, even if we're not live anymore. And we'll try and get them answered on the next Live with Grandpa, probably sometime next month. Maybe we'll make it a monthly occurrence and do a tour of Grandpa's museum, and hopefully not have a baby crying in the background. So anyways, thanks guys for watching. Oh, Alex just showed up. Alex says, I'm here. Sorry I was late. Was driving back to Idaho. I got questions. Okay, Alex, what's your questions? We can answer them. We're still here.
Timberland.
Alex says, don't leave. Alex is original. Well, he does a lot of logging down in the Eugene area, and he was just logging for a little while over in Idaho.
Oh, yeah?
But he can operate yarder. Hey, quiet. Okay, you can go to mom. He can operate yarder, processor, shovel log. He does all types of stuff. Loads trucks. He actually, when I first started looking up logging videos on YouTube, he was one of the first channels that I watched.
Oh.
Him and Logger Wade. Logger Wade's a logger from back on the east side who posts a lot of videos. So I have 1,440 some people that follow my channel, And Logger Wade, I think, is almost at 50,000. So he has a few more people that watch his videos than mine. Okay, Barry Hansen says, that would be good. Don't worry about the baby. West Coast Logging says, so did some searching and Grandpa's logging outfit was very large in Washington State, right? How many employees did you have?
My brother was. He might have.
So your brother had Joe Zumstein Logging, correct?
Right.
And then you had White. Well, it started out as Sherman and Zumstein Logging, and then White and Zumstein Logging.
Correct.
And at what point? What years was your business the largest?
When Gene and I were together.
And how many employees did you? How many employees did you guys have then?
We had about 10.
10 employees.
Maybe a few more with counting the cutters. Yeah.
Okay. And on average, how many loads do you think you would do a week? A guess.
Oh, we'd probably get around 50.
50 loads a week?
Yeah.
So I was at Craig Chilton's office the other day, and they have a board where they write their weekly load counts. Uh-huh. And the week that I was there, their load count was 405 loads for the week. So not quite that big, but you were a fairly decent sized company. You were running two sides. So Alex says, have you ever topped a spar tree?
No.
You don't like heights.
I'm definitely afraid of heights. I hung a whistle wire up one time in a tree. I climbed that tree, but I was only up there about 24 feet. Scared the hell out of me.
What's a whistle wire?
When we used to have the bug out in the brush, we had to send a signal in with the talkie tutor.
And was it a wired talkie tutor then? It wasn't wireless?
No, it wasn't wireless.
Okay.
We had to string the wire all the way out to the brush. And then you come back and pull it. And your wire, you kind of be the same thing as changing roads. You had to once in a while, you could keep close enough to the rigging.
Was there a limit?
So you could send the whistles in for them.
So
you had to make a new layout, and you roll up your wire and move it over a few.
Did you have a dedicated person then just to send in signals, or did you have it close enough to where your choker setters were that they could send the signals?
No, we had a dedicated person. You had to have. You couldn't.
So did that person, was that just like?
He sat on a stump.
Just all day, just sit on a stump and send whistles?
Yeah.
So how much did that guy get paid?
Almost the same price.
Almost the same price for sitting on a stump? Did they trade out through the day? Was he a choker setter
Sometimes we traded. Hot summer days, you could get too sleepy, and you can't have your whistle punk going to sleep. So we traded off sometimes, but usually they took the old crippled up guy and put him on the stump for whistle. He still loved to be out there in the brush, but he couldn't do anything anymore, so he made a great whistle punk.
So is the guy that's been too beat up being in the woods?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, Alex, did you ever work when you had to have a whistle punk on any yarder jobs, or were you after that point when they had wireless whistles? Alex says, what is your favorite job on a yarder side, including equipment?
Tenon hook, I think.
Okay. Yeah. So what would you do when you're tenon hook? What do you do most of the time?
Change the blocks.
Okay.
But I wasn't a very good hook tender because I couldn't climb. I could only tend hook when the conditions were just right.
So if you needed a lift tree in the middle, then you weren't the hook tender?
No.
Okay. I just got an update.
I like setting chokers with the rigging crew too. We just enjoyed being out there together.
Are you still there, Alex? I'm not sure if that's Alex that said that his Wi-Fi just died or if that was someone else. Does anyone else have any questions while we're still here with Grandpa? If you get over and you follow Blue Line Landworks LLC within the next 20 minutes or so, then there will be a premiere of the Steep Slope Harvester video where we should be able to watch the video live and you guys can ask questions regarding the video. Yeah, so I'm not sure if Alex is still there. It might be his Wi-Fi that left. Sean wants to know what your funniest experience was in the woods.
Funniest. That's a tough one.
Save that one